Cash flow statement, the format has been discussed. Operating, investing, and financing. Now, these are some objective questions, right? So I want someone to answer for question number 1. Classify the following into cash flow from operating, investing, and financing activities. Okay. Purchase of machinery.
Investing.
Okay. Issue of debentures.
Issue of debentures. Financing.
That's correct. Payment of dividend.
Financing.
Okay. Payment of income tax.
Operating.
Operating. That's good. Redemption of preference shares.
Redemption. Financing.
Financing. Shares से तो financing नहीं आएगा. And finally, it is sale of fixed assets.
Investing.
Investing. That's good. Thank you. I want someone else to answer now for question number 2. Yes, anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Okay, answer please, one by one. Redemption of debentures.
Financing activity.
Okay,
First
debentures
of finance.
financing. That's correct. Sale of fixed assets.
Investing.
Okay. Received dividend.
Investing.
Investing and interest received.
So same. Investing.
Kya baat hai. Thank you so much. Next, who will answer now for question number 3?
Sir, I will answer.
Classify the following into cash flow from operating, investing, and financing activities while preparing a cash flow statement. Okay, first one.
First will be financing.
Issue of share capital financing, that's correct. Sale of goods. Goods will be the routine operations, so operating. Received interest, we are receiving interest because we have made some investments. So interest received on investments is always an income because of the investment, so it has to be an investing activity. Dividend received.
Sir, investing.
That's correct. Purchase of goods.
Operating.
That's correct. Now, interest paid by a finance company.
Sir, if it is a finance company, then it will be operating.
That's very good. Because it's a finance company, so interest receiving and paying, like it will be the routine operation. So it's a operating activity. Very good. Payment of long-term loan.
Sir, financing.
Financing. That's very good. Okay. Next now. Sale of patent.
Investing.
Investing. Bank overdraft.
Financing.
Financing. ठीक है. Income tax refund received.
Operating.
Operating, that's correct. क्योंकि income tax operating में आता है तो refund has to be an operating only. Interest on debentures paid by a finance company.
Operating.
Yes, interest is paid by a finance company, so operating. That's correct.
Operating.
Interest on debentures received by a non-finance company.
Investing.
Investing, that's good. Sale of marketable securities.
Okay, तो क्या शिपे करें?
Yes. Okay, purchase of investments. Okay, investing is right. Repayment of loan.
Sir, financing.
Okay. Purchase of goodwill. So purchase of goodwill is an asset, so it has to be investing. Okay, next.
Operating.
Dividend received by a financing company. Yeah, operating में ही है. Dividend received by non-finance company.
Investing.
Okay. And short-term deposits in bank.
Sir, cash and cash equivalent.
Yeah, that's correct. Interest paid on cash credit.
Financing.
Okay, that's correct. Rent received by manufacturing company.
Investment.
Okay, that's correct. Rent received by a company dealing in property. Operating होगा. Okay, next. Cash credit.
Financing.
That's correct. Income tax paid.
Operating.
Yes. Administrative expenses.
Operating.
Okay. Dividend paid.
Financing.
That's correct. Cash paid to creditors.
Operating.
Very good. Okay, next one now. Classify the following items into operating, investing and financing activities. Okay, pehle finance company point of view. Next, non-finance company point of view. Yes, first answer from finance company point of view. Anyone? From finance company point of view.
Operating.
First one, purchase of investments, operating, that's fine. Dividend paid is always going to be financing, whether it is a finance company or a non-finance company. Being a finance company, they also raise the funds by the issue of the shares, right? We have so many finance companies, correct? So they will have to pay dividend to the shareholders. So dividend paid is one particular item which will be recorded in financing only, whether it's a finance company or a non-finance company. Okay, dividend received.
Operating.
Okay, interest received on investments. So it will be operating. Okay, loan and advances made.
Operating.
Okay, interest paid on loan. Operating, that's good. Okay, now please answer for non-finance company. Purchase of investments.
Investing.
Okay, dividend paid to shareholder.
Financing.
Financing, that's correct. Dividend received.
Investing.
That's correct. Interest received on investments.
Investing.
Loans and advances made. Investing. Because we are making some investments, right? We are advancing the loan. Interest paid on loan.
Financing.
That's very correct. Now I have question number 6, a very small question. First is, mutual fund company receives a dividend of rupees 25 lakhs on its investments in other companies' shares. Why is it a cash flow from operating activity?
Because it is a financial company.
Because it's a financing company, for them it's a routine activity. That's very correct. The question is, when are we supposed to record the dividend received as operating activity? So it is just when it is received by a finance company. Next, Y Limited is engaged in the construction and sale of houses. State with reasons whether sale of house by the company will be cash flow from operating or investing.
Sir, operating.
Next one now, question number 8. State whether depreciation charged by a company will result into inflow, outflow or no flow of cash. The answer for this will be no flow of cash, because depreciation is a non-cash item, right? So because no cash is received or paid for depreciation, okay, so will result in no flow of cash. Next, under which type of activity will you classify issuing 9% debentures while preparing cash flow statement? Issue of debentures is a source of finance, so financing activity itself. Finally, state whether the payment of cash to creditors will result in inflow, outflow or no flow of cash. The word is payment of cash. So payment, it's very easy to get, it's outflow of cash. Over here, we can see that we have been asked to calculate the cash generated from operating activity, right? This is the question with us. Statement of P&L has been given to us, right? These are all the details given to us. We can see the last amount, that is balance in statement of P&L, rupees 29,000. And on the right hand side, you can see the cash flow statement prepared. Okay, cash flow statement is basically divided into 4 parts. The first part is about the statement of P&L and dirt. Second is adjustments. Third is working capital. And fourth is the income tax paid, right? Likewise, we have 4 parts in operating activity. So what we need to do is, whenever statement of P&L is given to us, we need to pick those items which are important for us. And one by one, we just keep on recording in the statement wherever it has to be. I would like to start with the very first amount. Gross profit is there. The gross profit we don't record anywhere in cash flow statement. Other incomes are there. Other incomes, we can see that's profit on sale of machinery, dividend received, commission accrued. Yes. So these three incomes are there. Now these three incomes, we know like incomes are to be deducted. Where do we deduct this? Where do we write this? So in operating activity, second part, जो adjustment लिखा हुआ है over there. In adjustment parts, items to be deducted can be seen over here, right? So over here, we come and copy these three amounts: profit on sale of machinery, dividend received, and commission accrued. All these three items will be deducted over here, right? Okay, that's fine. Okay, now let us write the amounts. Amount for profit on sale of machinery can be seen as 10,000. Dividend is 3,000, and accrued commission is 4,000. Right? These three incomes are there. Incomes are to be deducted. We have discussed the format a number of times, and I have requested you all to please go to the format. Still, the format is in front of us. So please make sure in adjustments, incomes are deducted. So we have done that part. Expenses now. From expenses also, the first one is salary, second is rent. These are the normal expenses. Normal expenses, that is the operating expenses. ये है कि like these expenses are the routine expenses, and generally we don't deal with these type of items in cash flow statement under indirect method, because the cash flow statement that we prepare now is as per indirect method. These items like salary, rent were considered under direct method, which is not in our syllabus now. So we will never record these items, salaries and rent. Please take a note of this. Next is, we can see that's depreciation, loss on sale of building, goodwill written off. So this is like depreciation, amortization, and loss on sale of fixed assets. So these losses are to be added back, right? Because no cash goes out of the business because of these activities. So let us add these items in the adjustment part. Okay, I'm putting those items over there. Depreciation. You can see that loss on sale of building, goodwill written off. These items will be added back. Okay, so let us write the amounts one by one. Depreciation can be seen as 20,000. Loss on sale of building is 5,000. Goodwill written off is 8,000. Right? So these three items have been added back. After expenses, we can see that it's profit before tax. Profit before tax भी हमारे किसी काम का नहीं है. Provision for tax, yes. This has to be taken care of. Provision for tax. Tax paid and made are the amounts need to be given the effect in operating activity. Paid and made, both the amounts. When you talk about tax paid, okay, this is a provision given to us. So by default, it is assumed that whatever the provision is there, that is paid in the current year. If tax paid is given to us, it is assumed the same has been provided for. So paid and made has to be same amount if there is no instruction at all. Because we have just one balance, we need to assume that only. Provision for tax, paid and made has to be of the same amount. So let us write over here, taxes paid can be seen as a fourth amount over here. On the right hand side of the screen, you can see that less income tax paid. So tax paid, I'll put it over here. Because this is paid, the amount has to be negative, and whenever the amount is negative in this statement, I'll be using that bracket sign. 10,000 excess paid has been shown over there. Made, excess made, we can see that वो dirt वाला format. Dirt का T का format देखो आप, tax provision made. So amount of 10,000 will be put over here as excess made during the year. Okay. So paid will be the fourth amount, made is the first amount. Dirt ka T wala part. Do remember. After that, profit after tax is of no use. Again, we can see that dividend. Proposed dividend is 10,000. So that dividend has to be in the dirt column again. Dirt ka D can be seen, proposed dividend. So I'll put it over there, 10,000 rupees, right? 10,000 rupees. Okay, dividend proposed. And finally, I can see that balance and statement of P&L is 29,000. So when statement of P&L is given, we need not to find the difference. If balance sheet is given, statement of P&L amount is given, to then at that point of time, we have to take the difference. But because only the balance is given to us, so we will be putting it over here on the top, 29,000, right? This is the balance actually we start with. So 29,000, statement of P&L, dividend proposed, and tax is made, tax provision made has been added over there. I need to have the total of these three values, please. How much will that be? 29 plus 10 plus 10. That will be 49,000. Then what amounts are to be added? So 20 plus 5 plus 8, that's 33,000. Yeah. Okay. 33 plus 49 is 82,000. Now we need to deduct. Okay, let me put these values in the bracket because these are to be deducted. Okay, so 10 plus 3 plus 4 is 17,000, right? Okay, so after this we get the operating profit before working capital changes. That will be 65,000. Now cash generated from operations, actually in between these two, operating profit before working capital changes. After that we have to show the changes in working capital. But because we don't have any amount of working capital over here, working capital means current assets and current liabilities. Because none of the items appear over here, we don't write anything. So cash generated from operations will be the same value, that is 65,000. Out of 65,000, 10,000 taxes has been paid, so we deduct that. The remaining amount is 55,000. So that's the answer. Answer for operating activity. Now, because this is positive, so I have mentioned over here net cash flow from. Okay, net cash flow from operating activity. Please take care of this word. Agar negative aata, we could have written it as cash used in operating activity, right? So I'm done with the answer of this question. Next sum again talks about the cash flow from operating activity itself. We can see that the last line, ascertain the net cash flow from operating activities. Now, again the same format has been copied. Let us take the amounts one by one and let us read the question as well. On 31st of March 2019, Ramesh and company indicated a profit of rupees 1,25,000 after considering the following. Profit दिया हुआ है 125 after considering the following, मतलब after these adjustments, depreciation, amortization, gain, ये सारे amounts consider करने के बाद का amount है 125. So we need to give the effect of all these amounts in cash flow statement, right? Let us give the effect one by one, but statement of P&L shows a profit of 125,000. So I should be writing it on the top over here, 1,25,000, right? Now, depreciation on building, depreciation on plant and machinery, amortization. We know like these amounts are added back. कहाँ पर? Adjustments में. The adjustments में items to be added. I'll put it over here, 1, 2, and 3, right? Depreciation on building, depreciation on plant and machinery, and amortization of goodwill. So let us place the values over here. कितना amount है? This is 25,000, 45,000, and 20,000. ठीक है? Because this is depreciation and amortization, its loss has to be added back. So we have added it back in the adjustments. The fourth one over here can be seen as gain on sale of machinery. Gain, it's a profit. Profits are to be deducted. The items to be deducted में आके we'll place our amount over here. Gain on sale of machinery, and the amount can be seen as 10,000. Right, 10,000 to be deducted. For the deduction part, please remember we have to put the amount in the brackets. Okay, so we are basically done with the first table. Now, the current assets and the current liabilities at the beginning and at the end of the year are. Now, we are given some current assets and current liabilities over here. So we have to show the effects over here. How to prepare one row over here. In fact, 2 rows. One will be for adding and one will be for deducting, right? because we are going to show the changes in working capital. Changes in working capital के लिए करना क्या होगा? If current asset increases, in fact, so it will be outflow. Asset decreases, it's inflow, and vice versa for liabilities. Let us start one by one. Now, whenever you start with the current assets and current liabilities, please take care of the dates given to us over here. It is 1/4/18 and 31st March 19. This is opening and closing balance given to us. So let us compare the two balances. Let us decide whether the asset has increased or decreased, whether the liability has increased or decreased. Accordingly, we are going to give the effect in the third part, right? Third part basically talks about the changes in working capital. Okay, first one, trade receivables, right? Can be seen as 35 to 45. Current asset has increased. If asset increases, it's inflow or outflow. Asset increase होगा, so it is always outflow, right? Outflow होगा तो मुझे minus करना है. I'll come over here, put it over here, trade receivables, and the amount over here, deduct करना है, get the difference, 35 to 45, 10,000 is the amount, right? Inventories is the next one. Inventories, opening is 75, closing is 69, asset has decreased. If asset decreases, cash comes in, inflow, add करना होगा. तो add वाले part में जाके inventories, amount difference is 75, 69, the difference comes to 6,000. Okay. Next is cash and cash equivalents. Cash and cash equivalent is never a part of any of the activities. Operating, investing, financing, तीनों में ही ये नहीं आता. तो कहाँ पर आएगा? After the addition of all the three activities, then we need to show the cash and cash equivalents. If you all have gone through the format, you must be knowing this. If you haven't, please go through the format. Next is trade payables. Of trade payables, we can see that 30 to 32. It has increased. Liability increases. If liability increases, it's inflow. Inflow का तो plus करना होगा. Trade payables, 30 to 32, 2,000 is an increase, so 2,000 rupees, right? Next is expenses payable. When you talk about expenses payable, it is again a liability. The liability we can see it has reduced from 10 to 5,000. पहले 10,000 था, अब 5,000 है. So 5,000, there is a reduction in the liability. Reduction in liability that shows that we have paid the amount. It's outflow of cash. So outflow को तो minus करना होगा. Let us put it over here. Okay. The amount is 10 to 5, to 5,000. Right. Next is bank overdraft. Now bank overdraft is also a current liability. Out of current liabilities, we are going to exclude the short-term borrowings in the form of bank overdraft, in the form of cash credit, because these short-term borrowings will be a part of financing activity, not the operating activity. I'm done with all the amounts. So let us close this statement now. The first part shows simply the net profit. So I'll put it over here. The first amount, the final amount is net profit before tax and extraordinary items, 125,000. Second is adjustments. Let us have the total of these three. 25, 45, 70 plus 20 is 90,000. 90 plus 125, it's 2,15,000. 2,15,000 में से जो minus करना है, that is 10,000. So operating profit before working capital changes will be 2,05,000, right? After getting 2,05,000 over here, now I need to add the changes in the working capital. Changes in working capital, positive can be seen as 8,000. If I add this 8,000 to 2,05,000, then this will be 2,13,000. 2,13,000 के बाद, I have to deduct some amount. Deduction में I have 10 plus 5, 15,000, right? So 2,13,000 minus 15 is going to be 1,98,000, right? Out of 198 now, fourth part is left, income tax paid. Now, income tax paid is not given to us, so we don't write any amount over here. The final amount can be seen as 1,98,000. Now again, because this is positive, so I have to write it as net cash flow from operating activities, right? अगर नेगेटिव आया होता तो नेट कैश यूज लिखते, लेकिन पॉजिटिव है इसलिए नेट कैश फ्लो फ्रॉम ऑपरेटिंग एक्टिविटी. सो आई एम डन विद द सेकंड सम आल्सो. From the following information, calculate cash flow from operating activity. Again, the details are given to us, and we can see the balances of 2 years are given to us. 31st March 2019 and 18 is given. So now closing and opening is given. It's not opening and closing. So we need to take care every time the sum comes to us, right? A piece of machinery costing rupees 50,000, on which depreciation rupees 20,000 had been charged, was sold for 10,000, right? Okay. And if you remember the working that we used to do last year in case of depreciation, see, like I used to write the cost base first of all, right? Cost base के बाद माइनस करते थे हम लोग accumulated depreciation, right? Next आता था book value. Book value के बाद I used to write the selling price, right? Selling price, and finally I used to get it as the profit or loss. Profit or loss. ठीक है? I'm sure like everybody remembers this calculation. Now, let us read the adjustment again. A piece of machinery costing rupees 50,000. 50,000 is the cost price, right? Accumulated depreciation is rupees 20,000. Okay. Next is book value. 50 minus 20 will be 30,000. What is the selling price? Has been sold for rupees 10,000. 10,000. So remaining is profit or loss. Now book value is 30. Book value is 30 and selling price is 10. So difference is going to be a loss for us. Loss is 20,000, right? Now how we used to write this thing in machinery account? Now because we have only machinery account with us, we don't see any accumulated depreciation account over here. Yeah, provision for depreciation account over here. So we are not going to deal with these two values. In fact, book value तक हमारा किसी काम का नहीं है, right? This is of no use to us, correct? Cost price, accumulated depreciation, and book value. Now book value is 30, sold for 10, so loss is 20. So we need to think of two amounts over here: 10,000 the selling price and 20,000 the loss. How are we going to write this? Let us prepare machinery account over here. Okay. तो मशीनरी अकाउंट बनाने के लिए I should write the balance on the debit side to balance BD, right? What is the opening balance given to us? So we can see that opening balance is 56,000, right? And the closing balance can be seen as 82. Balance CD, it's 82,000, correct? Opening and closing balance I have mentioned. Now let us get the effect of these amounts: selling price and loss. If you remember, at the time of loss, I used to tell you कि ये जो amounts हैं यहाँ पर लिखने होंगे by bank, right? And by statement of P&L, right? By statement of P&L. Because it's company now, we need to write that by statement of P&L. Okay, now point is by bank, selling price is 10,000. Loss can be seen as 20,000. Okay, so we are done giving the effect of these two. Selling price and loss in case of machine account. But when you think of sale of a machine, sale of machine will be a part of investing activity, so not to be recorded over here. Next is statement of P&L. 20,000. It's a loss. Loss on sale of asset. Yes, that has to be considered in operating activity. Under the adjustments, the item will be added over here as loss on sale of machinery. Right? I'm sure like everybody has understood this part. If not, please tell me. 20,000. This working is important. We'll be doing it every time. And machine account, whenever adjustment is there, we'll prepare machine account every time. Right? Okay. After that, this adjustment I already underlined. Depreciation charged during the year. मतलब ये depreciation इस साल का है. So what entry do we pass for this? it is depreciation account debited to machinery account. Depreciation is a loss for us, and we know losses are to be added. So let us place over here depreciation on machinery. ठीक है, add करना है, loss है, कितना आएगा? 18,000 is the amount given to us. So 18,000. And the same depreciation has to be recorded over here to machinery. तो machinery account में आपको आके credit करना होगा by depreciation. Right, amount is 18,000. Right. So we are done with the first adjustment. Okay, now let us close machine account. When you close machine account, there will be some difference. 1,30,000. Right? Let us place over here 1,30,000. 1,30,000 में से 56 चला जाएगा, तो it will be 74. ठीक है, 74. So this shows the purchase of machinery to bank. We can write there purchase of machinery. Right. So this is what is the possibility with machinery account. Purchase of machinery, 74,000, right? Now purchase of machinery का second effect has to go to investing activity, correct? Because it's an asset. Operating में कहीं नहीं आएगा. So operating में क्या क्या लिया हमने? Statement of P&L, loss amount and depreciation. That's all. These two. Okay. So we're done with the first adjustment only. Okay. Income tax rupees 23,000 was paid during the year. Now this is tax paid. So I told you in the previous sum also, tax paid and made has to be the same value. So let us continue with that. Taxes paid. Tax paid can be seen over here. Because the amount is paid, it has to be negative rupees 23,000. And taxes made. Tax made is tax provision made, right? 23,000. So dirt at T and taxes paid last will minus. Next is dividend paid during the year is 36,000. Not dividend paid again. Correct. Paid and made has to be same. If there is no other information, dividend paid generally goes to financing activity. But because we are in operating, to operating का dirt का D, dividend proposed वाला part. Okay. We need to put the amount over here as 36,000. Correct. So we are done with the three adjustments. Now after three adjustments, let us place the values one by one. Surplus of statement of P&L can be seen. Opening and closing. Opening can be seen as 89, right? Closing can be seen as 71. So how do we write this? Closing minus opening. So 71 minus 89. 71 minus 89 will be 18,000, but negative. हमेशा याद रखना, it is always closing minus opening, right? Inventories can be seen now. Inventory is 4 and 12. Inventory has increased. If inventory has increased, मतलब asset increase हो रहा है, asset increase होगा तो cash गया, minus करो. कहाँ पर? Working capital में. Okay, inventory we can see it has increased, तो minus करेंगे. Amount is 8,000. Okay. After inventory, trade receivables. Trade receivables can be seen as 45 to 58. It has increased. Again, अगर asset increase हो रहा है तो मुझे minus करना है. Amount can be seen as 45 to 38, 13,000. Okay. Outstanding expenses. It's a liability. Liability में क्या हुआ? Opening was 10, closing is 14,600. It has increased. अगर liability increase हो रहा है तो मुझे add करना पड़ेगा. So outstanding expenses will be added over here. Difference is 4,600. Goodwill. Goodwill is intangible asset, fixed asset. तो fixed assets का यहाँ पे कोई काम नहीं है. Because it has increased actually. 27 to 57 हो गया. Goodwill has increased. That means हमने purchase किया होगा. Now because the goodwill is purchased, it is purchase of intangible asset has to go to investing activity. Operating में इसका काम नहीं है. Cash in hand, again cash and cash equivalents, so यहाँ पर नहीं करना. Machinery we are done with. So basically we are done. Let us get the totals now. First amount 1836.23. It is 18 plus 23. 41,000 is the first amount as net profit before tax and extraordinary items. 38 will be added over here. Nothing to be deducted. So operating profit before working capital changes can be seen as 79,000. 79,000 में मुझे 4,600 ऐड करना है, right? If I add 4,600 now, the amount will be 83,600. Minus करूँगा मैं 21,000, 8 plus 13, 21,000 अगर minus करते हैं तो 62,600 and 62,600 में से 23 minus होगा, कितना आ जाएगा? 39,600, right? So we are done with the sum.